So it is Tuesday, August 14th, leading to Wednesday the 15th. Today was a slightly better day, but definitely still missed the mark. I can usually tell just by feeling alone whether or not I've spent my day in a worthwhile manner, or really pushed myself to live on the heart's edge, or to push myself into the state of growth. Today was not necessarily one of those days, but it was still better than some of the past few days. I had these intentions like almost every day to do a whole list of things, and it seemed like the only thing I really got done was kind of getting things a little bit tidied up and organized, especially with some of my digital note-keeping stuff and in regards to finances and record keeping for that, so which is something that I had sort of been stressing about a little bit, just because it had been piling up and I hadn't really done anything with it. I still have a little bit left to do with that, but I'm probably got like 95% of that done and out of the way. I just have a few special case scenarios I need to kind of dig into a little bit, but I don't want to be up for like another hour doing that, so I'll save that for another day. Not as huge of a priority. Kind of tidied up my physical space, my desks, shelves and things like that, so just less clutter in general. I'm still feeling a very, very strong pull towards minimalism and removing a lot of the clutter from my life. I mean, that applies to all areas of my life, but especially physical. Like, it's like looking around the room, and it's just a bit too much stuff still. That's not even factoring in the stuff that I have in my closet that are just set in boxes, which in itself is a sign that those probably aren't as important if I'm not actually utilizing them in any shape or form. But that's kind of like a lower tier thing that I'm not too worried about, not as worried about going through yet. Even if they just remain in boxes, at least it's still out of sight and out of mind most of the time. But even just in my immediate environment, I think there are a lot of things I could probably just pull off my shelf, put in a box, and store in my closet if need be, or get rid of in some way. I still have a whole tub of clothes that I've been meaning to try and get rid of or sell in some fashion. But I know I'm kind of being a little bit of a perfectionist in regards to how I want to jettison those things out of my life. Whether I want to go through and post them on Facebook and just ask if people want them, if I want to post them on eBay, or just ship them off to Goodwill, or just give them to my parents and let them kind of deal with it. Stuff on my walls I'm kind of feeling like I should just take down. A lot of this also is kind of influenced by the fact of possibly moving out in the next month or so, so the less I have to pack then, the better in general. But I'm getting better about my immediate environments being a little bit cleaner and tidier, like making sure that whatever desk I'm working on only has the main things that I'm focusing on in that moment. Like if I'm typing some stuff up on the computer, I won't have anything else on the desk that isn't relevant to that task, so that is good. But still, in general, a lot of clutter, and it's okay to have some. I don't want to be like a perfectionist in regards to it, but it's still more than what would be comfortable as a good enough degree or intensity. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm super tired, and I am mostly doing this video, so since I think I missed yesterday's, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I did. So that's another red mark on my 6-month, whatever. Trying to get myself to go to bed a little bit earlier. It is about 5:30, and I think yesterday I went to bed around 6:30 or so, and just the past few days have been around the 6-7 mark, so I definitely want to get to the point where I'm waking up by 11 in the morning at the latest, which means going to bed by 3 at the latest. And I want to be able to wake up earlier than that, but that's going to require me to have the self-discipline to actually go to bed and turn everything off at a slightly more appropriate time. So we will see if I can make that happen, or how quickly I want to make that happen. Yeah, not really sure what else to talk about. Productivity-wise, today definitely wasn't quite as good as I was hoping. Probably not even like at the halfway mark of what I would consider okay. I spent a little bit too much time watching Netflix, but I at least had it set on a different screen, so it wasn't the main focus, even though I did spend more time watching it than I wanted. But that did kind of free up some attention to spend on sorting like the receipts and the finances and going through digital notes and stuff like that. So at least that is a better step in the right direction, but it's still not quite what I was hoping to get done today, but it was better. I think I will, before I go to bed, take at least 5-10 minutes or so and just kind of reply to some people on Messenger. I did go through some of my emails, so that was another good thing. I organized them so that they're kind of out of my main inbox, so I still have a little bit left to do, but it's a lot less stressful than what it was earlier today, or just the past few months in general. But before I go to bed, I intend on sending a few more messages on Messenger, just to follow up on some open loops and kind of get that kind of tucked away so that it's not a massive priority when I wake up tomorrow. Because tomorrow I should be at the studio for most of the day. Probably won't stay after this time, I have a feeling, just because I'll have been there for 5 hours or so, unless I feel called to do some writing or messengering or sorting through digital stuff there. Not quite as likely because the internet's so slow. But also the intent for tomorrow is to be a little bit more proactive on getting to bed at a slightly earlier time. Doesn't have to be super drastic, but you might have to like pull out the melatonin and see if that helps kind of reset things a little bit more. And then also starting more minimalism stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to start with just getting rid of one thing every single day, or actually doing the minimalists 30-day game, or month game, or whatever, where first day is 1 item, second day is 2 items, third day is 3 items, fifth day is 5 items, etc., until 30 days has been up. I don't know if I'll go that far, because I've already gotten rid of quite a lot of stuff, but I'm sure I could still find a couple hundred things to get rid of if I pare them down one by one, or count them individually. But I don't want that to stall me from getting rid of things I want to get rid of. So maybe if I do want to get rid of a lot of things and I feel compelled to get rid of a lot of things on the first day, setting those in a pile and then like pulling out of that pile every single day. I don't know. But yeah. Life right now is all about finding the main priorities, the main modules in life that are most important and relevant and fulfilling, and focusing all my attention on that, while simultaneously putting in the effort to trim away a lot of the fat from my life and the things pulling my attention away from those main priorities and the main things that are going to make me happy and make me feel a little bit more fulfilled in my life in general. That way I'm just less frantic, less distracted, less anxious in general. So that seems to be life right now.